Hi, everybody. So I wanted to know if you'd be interested in doing some July predictions. I feel like everybody's doing that as far as tarot and astrology is concerned. And we don't do a lot of predictions in numerology, but there are some that I have calculated, and I've been able to use kind of an intuitive approach to see where this is taking us. So yeah, should we take a look at these July predictions together? And I've got a few things I wanted to share with you all. So let's take a look at some interesting predictive calculations. Okay, so first of all, I want to share a board that I created. This just has a few of the calculations I did. And we did this before on Naja's channel, the Dancing Oracle. We did June and July, and we see where both of them add to well, specifically July at this point, adds to 14. So the numbers against each letter get added up and they come to 14. And 14, 1 plus 4 equals 5. So the trick about that is that that's a karmic number. It's a karmic number, and it means it's a number about the temptations. What I find super interesting about that is that the current president of the United States and the current resident in the White House, he has nothing but karmic numbers happening. So I wanted to share that with you as well, and we'll share it again. So this is the board. You can see Donald John Trump. You can see the destiny number, the soul number, and the personality number. All of these are karmic. So the top number is the destiny number. That's a 14.5. The second number is the soul number. That's a 16.7. That's a karmic number. And the personality number is again a 16.7, also a karmic number. And even his life path is karmic. So his life path is 614. The birth date is karmic. It's a 14 from last month, which I don't know if you noticed, but things started to really go wrong for this particular person in June. And this is just a continuation of that. As a matter of fact, I would like to put it here that I am predicting that he will be either 25th Amendment or something. So, and we'll say the all something or something else, possibly. But these numbers all add up to individually the 13.4, which is also a karmic number. So again, that sort of means that he was it was easy for him to let other people do the work for him in a past life. Okay. So the trick to knowing him, and I got to be honest, I kind of Googled this because I thought, I have never seen someone with so many karmic numbers, never in my life. So, I mean, his destiny number is karmic, his soul number is karmic, his personality number is karmic, and his life path number. Now, his maturity number adds to a 9. So if you add the destiny number, which is the 5, and we add the life path number, which is the 4, we get a 9. So you can see down here at the end, the maturity number equals the 9. So the trick to that is recognizing that he's reached the age that he is. This is the part that I had to recognize. He's reached 80 years old, and if you look at his life, has not satisfied any of the karmic numbers that he has. As a matter of fact, he seems to have done more to hide what he's doing wrong. At least this is the way it looks from the outside. I cannot be honestly say that. But what I can tell you is that I see either the 25th Amendment being used in impeachment, which there are some calls for that now. And as a matter of fact, if you saw yesterday, one of our military people was arrested because he called for the impeachment of DJT. And yeah, so that's something that's important to know. So the other thing that I would like to say is the other option besides 25th Amendment or resigning, which would result from the different illnesses he has. So yeah, that's part of where we see this going. So anyway, yeah, so that is, and with the maturity number that he has of the 9, it's sort of like an ending of what doesn't serve him. So I feel like we should, he needs to, so what's ending is his presidency. That's the maturity number. That's the ending of, yeah, we'll see. We shall see. We don't know what happens, but I feel like July is the bigger of the 2 months for him. So it started in June, and I feel like July is going to really solidify where things go. So I feel like we're going to wake up one of these mornings and we're going to see it happen in real life. So that's one thing I would say for you. Now, the other thing that I wanted to share with you, so there's a few other calculations that I have and predictions, and one of them is we talked about this last month, but I see it continuing, the global warming. Now, the global, if you look at global, you can see that the number adds to a 22.4, right? Yep. And then warming adds to 404. So if you add the 4 plus 4, which are the final, like when you calculate, again, keep in mind that with numerology, we can get a double digit number as it, added together, calculated. But then we always take the double digit number, especially when it's a number like global warming. Um, and we could add the 22 plus the 4 and still get this number here, which is an 8. So the 22 plus the 4 adds to 26. 6 plus 2 equals 8. So no matter what, we get the 8 for which is, to me, it's about power and control. The real issue with power, in my opinion, is that power is it's kind of what people are, the anticipation of gaining control. That feels like, if oh, sorry, I just got a chill. So that tells me that spirit is talking through me. It feels like um that's what's happening with the global warming is trying to take over our our earth, our whole earth. How we respond to that, I feel like I feel like that is going to intensify. We're going to see more periods of heat. We already see that in Europe. We already see that in the East Coast. It's going to happen in the West Coast. It's been happening every year. Um, so that's one thing. With global warming, I also, I calculated climate change. I didn't write that on the board as well because I couldn't fit everything. But climate change, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't write it on this one, so I guess I shouldn't have talk about that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was the predictions are earthquakes. So we're seeing a lot of these. And with earthquakes, and the number is, let's see if I can show this to you. The number for earthquakes adds to 37. 3 plus 7 equals 10. And then the 1 plus 0 equals 1. So earthquakes are 1, or we can look at this 10 because we've talked about this before. Tens are indicative of new beginnings, matching the 2026 energy for the universal year. 2 plus 2 plus 6. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals a 1 or a 10. So it's a new beginning kind of a year. That's what we have with earthquakes as well. But what does that mean when we say new beginning? Are we talking about, I mean, this is the kind of thing that I feel like we should take a look at or be prepared for. We should be prepared for the fact that there are some earth changes that are coming forward, and it's going to provide a new beginning all over, wherever they happen. And they're happening everywhere. They're happening in South America. They're happening in Venezuela. I mean, the two that just happened in Venezuela, the one that happened in California, the one that even happened last year in Russia. We don't know that that's the end for that. We don't know. We don't know. So be prepared for earth change activity. That would be the prediction um, for 2026 from July forward. So the last thing I wanted to talk about here was the Epstein files. And I shared that on the board here at the very bottom. Let's see. Epstein files. So these are all the numbers that have been calculated for Epstein. These are all the numbers that have been calculated for files. When you add them together, we get a 22 or 29, which when you add the 2 plus 9 together, you get an 11, which is a master number for Epstein. Now, keep in mind, and I'm going to do a little bit more research and I'm going to do another video on this. The 29 has always been a number that we need to talk a little bit about when we do any kind of consultation with somebody, because somehow this person is dealing with a little bit of trauma that's in their lives and they need to work it through. They, especially if you've got a 29. Um, and the 2 plus 9 though equals 11. So when you have this number and you work out your trauma, there can be a a creative spirituality there. So maybe it's possible that once we get all of the information that are being represented by these files, we'll reach this point and feel like we're providing a service to all, which is what the 33 represent. It represents a total service to all. So keep in mind, we have an 11 for the Epstein, and files is a 22. So because it's a master number, we add 11 plus 22 and we get the 33. So the 33 again equals a 6. So my feeling like about that is the service is to everyone. It's to the people, the young girls that were sexually assaulted. Ooh, I'm sorry. We won't say that word again. That were somehow essayed, during their time. And then we all the people, those of us who know or that don't know, will be satisfied as well because it's sitting within us. It's giving us a whole different viewpoint of the world and who controls it. So yeah, I feel like there are some definite things that we need to be aware of. I think that the Epstein files is going to continue. There's going to be some larger changes there. So the good news about that is there are some specific days when news might come about there. And the only reason that I'm saying that is because of the fact that the 11, the 22, and the 33. So when we get a number that adds to a master number, it's good to take a look at it a little bit further. So that's what we're doing here. We're taking a look at, and we're getting to the closest we can get where we get a six in the month of July. So which days give us a six? So if we add 7 plus 16 plus 2026, so 7 plus 16 equals 6 and 1 is 5, 7 plus 5 is 12, 13. So 13. So and that would be the 13 is a 4, so we're probably not going to see that there. But if we're looking for a 6, so the 7 plus 25, 7 plus 7 equals 14, 15 equals the end of the total number, the calculation. 5 plus 1 equals 6. So we could see something on the 25th. We don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be the first arrest in the United States? I'm not sure about that. I just think there's going to be more news that comes out that is telling us, is pointing in a different direction, pointing in, whether we get a new person that is involved that we didn't realize was involved. I'm not sure exactly where that goes, but let's just see what happens with that. So as far as this goes, these predictions that I provided you on here really go through the whole summer, a lot of them. And I can actually see the biggest thing I wanted to come on here and talk to you about was the DJT information and the destiny number, the soul number, the personality number, all being karmic numbers, as well as the life path. And I don't see that being fixed. I see it being ended, if you will. So, yeah. I hope that you guys have gotten something out of that. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you.